One time we hung out a bunch of times, but then I get real picky, like, oh, she had hairy legs. I'm like, what is that about? I mean, she asked me how much money I had, my house was worth. Told me her last date was a tall doctor. I was getting compliments all night on what I was wearing, and just having you there and people complimenting was already a huge boost.
We were talking about maybe being a little less picky about inconsequential things, like, if they didn't shave their legs or not, or don't find reasons to eliminate people, if there's already not a huge selection to go from anyway, of women that you might want to be in a relationship with long term.
I think that's another thing I can learn from you through more time together is address issues with other women. Don't be picky and throw them to the curb, right?
Well, I mean, just within your relationship, it's always best to be kind of courageous and communicative. You never want to be there's all moments in everyone's life, like hundreds, maybe even hundreds a day, where you can pick cowardice or you can pick courage. And we're never going to be 100% courage, and we're never going to be 100% cowardice. But the more higher ratio of courage is just kind of a more fulfilled life. Just loving, communicative, and state your desires and how it makes you feel. And usually someone will meet you halfway if you come at them with not in a loving kind of manner to try and get it. Sometimes there's huge differences of life goals and missions, and if someone is someone wants to improve a lot in their life and someone just wants to stay where they're at, generally that's not going to work. There's got to be alignment in values and leadership. So there's a lot of details that go into it. I would study how to love a little bit. That's going to recommend to all my clients. The big one I like is School of Life by Elaine DeBotton or something. It's a YouTube channel. But, it's kind of well done, I believe. And then books about loving, summaries of books. See, there's a lot of apps nowadays that summarize books in 20 minutes. 30 minutes, you can get whole things of how to cuddle, well, and come back to each other after fights. And I would say just level up your love learning. If you want to kind of have a long-term relationship where you maintain sexual interest in your partner, because that's a big thing for guys. Okay. Is kind of getting the girl, but not really maintaining what you want is kind of a loving partner who has sexual interest in you for a long period of time. It actually takes work to kind of put it in there. You have to be affectionate when you're not seeking sex, and just because you want to be affectionate, just because you want it, same reason you want to just pet a dog or pet a cat is just to kind of love on another being. So
I've had no issue with being affectionate, but I do have one thing I could work on personally is rejecting women. I'll go on a few dates, and then I've been rejected too. Of course, everyone goes through both sides of it. I was rejected last year. We went on a date to Panera Bread, and she was looking for a rich man over 6 foot, and so that can be the case with some women, and they'll.
Did she verbally tell you that? Is that what she was looking for? I'm just curious.
Implications. I mean, she asked me how much money I had, my house was worth. Told me her last date was a tall doctor. And then I was like, I instantly don't want to be your friends. You probably have no hobbies either. I want a woman with hobbies and interests, so that they're not calling me 30 times a day. They're doing their own thing.
I definitely agree, though. I definitely agree. Spending more time, let's just say when you're dating, right, or you're trying to get to that next level, is still spending time with yourself and not just going into a whole relationship or because you want a relationship. You kind of invest all of your time. And then you guys are just kind of doing everything together, and it becomes like very clingy and very.
That was kind of my marriage. She had no friends, and I had to provide all the entertainment. I couldn't go out with friends. Why do you want to play tennis with Brett? Oh, because he's my friend, and I always play tennis with Brett. And things like that would come up, and I'm like, why are we fighting over this? After I was divorced, I met women through friends, and that went pretty well for a couple of years, and then maybe 2-3 years, and then it started. Once I didn't have that connection. Also, after I got divorced, I started really focusing on myself and getting certifications and getting like further down my career path, and doubled my income, and then.
There you go, level up.
Yeah.
I was working corporate buildings where there's nothing to look at. No. So having a job where I could meet people all the time was fantastic. I was around probably hundreds of people every day at work, and that was fantastic. And now I work at home, and I meet nobody. So what I do I mean, I really love playing pickleball. I get out on the court. There are women that give me their numbers sometimes, but it never really goes anywhere. My other hobbies, like I go hiking. I get phone numbers hiking. Never really goes anywhere though. One time, we hung out a bunch of times, but then I get real picky. Like, oh, she had hairy legs. I'm like, what is that about? So I stopped calling her. So dating in public, like I try to meet people during my hobbies and stuff, and instead of work or through friends these days. And once a year I do get on the dating apps, like usually August or September. I don't know why it's always that time. I guess the rest of the year I'm just busy with my own stuff.
Like, do you think that maybe because, like, you know how, like, you know, because there's so many people on the dating app that it's just like, you know, like it's just another person in their DM. It's just another guy, like, you know, with a follow, and it's there doesn't really get to the next level. How do you think online dating has like impacted like that specific, you know, thing for dating?
In my experience, I might be like too choosy sometimes, because I'll find a girl annoying and then just block her. It'll be going great. We'll go out. She'll take me out to Michael Bublé or something, and like we'll go on even like a trip to Sedona, and then like I'm like, oh, well, she called me too many times that one week, and
you find a reason
I think I'm done.
to say no to her. Okay.
She like called me 30 times this one week, and I was just busy. And then she showed up at my house knocking. And
well, that seems a bit much.
Jared helped me realize what aesthetics and dress and ability to dress better. Anytime you go in public, you're better off dressing better. You're more likely to get treated well and also meet somebody. He tuned me up the other day. He's like, get these shoes and don't button all the way up if you're going to not wear a tie, and so stuff like that.
Sounds cool.
He also mentioned don't use interview questions like don't get stuck in like yes or no, what do you do for work, all this stuff. Just try to make a moment with them and enjoy the moment and have a great time with them. I look forward to working with Jared again or going out with Jared again and seeing what I can learn. I think it was just a great first encounter experience. We only been doing this together for about a week, and I already see some improvement. I think my approach was a little clunkier before, and I think Jared helped fine-tune me a little bit so far, and I think it feels good.
What your experience was Saturday night? You like not all the details, but just kind of like your emotional experience, kind of like what it felt like to kind of like be taken out like that.
Number one, having your support was fantastic, and a little bit of your guidance and dressing well. I was getting compliments all night on what I was wearing, and just having you there and people complimenting was already a huge boost. Able to enjoy myself better. I ended up talking to more people, and then it did get pretty late, and I ended up going home. But I felt like it was a mission accomplished. I enjoyed going out with you and having a great first night.
That's awesome. So, him having there, the support, it kind of just, it really did kind of like pull you out of like your shell, right? To really kind of be there in the moment, I was taking a look at a lot of the pictures that you guys took, and they looked really, really good. And you guys, nothing seemed more natural. Everything they really just seemed like natural. And even when you guys were approaching women, in all of the content that was, it looked actually really like natural and genuine.
We only saw about like a fifth of what happened, or an eighth of what happened, because
yeah,
we don't content ourselves as best as we could yet. What's Jared's asset to this like venture?
What's his asset to you? What, like, this bond that you guys have?
Jared has his own rule for Jared. We can go into that.
It doesn't apply.
We can go into that. It's not, Jared doesn't have that rule for his
clients.
It
could be like a rule, like, to be yourself. Don't try to impress people. Like, it could be like something simple like that,
Well, I think everyone would take something different from Jared.
Okay.
I think number one, like I said, was dressing well, and also don't ask the standard 20 questions. Just make a moment with somebody and enjoy the moment. And I think that's like my number one takeaway, because I didn't think about that before.
Okay, I like that. Just kind of like staying in the moment instead of like, taking dating into more like a moment by moment, and not, check box. Yeah.
I don't know. Women are afraid to meet out. Even when I'm like buying something on Craigslist or like OfferUp, women are like, I don't want you to come to my house. You're like a stranger. Like, so maybe they could run a background check. I'll give you my full name. You run a background check. I don't know. Like, have you ever thought about those things? Like, well, I guess if you're already meeting in public, you're past all that shit, right? Kind of. Except,
well, you're just taking a risk. You're always taking a risk. Life is a risk. But like there is extreme consequences for women like trusting the wrong person, and there are wrong people in this world. So like it's kind of a rational choice to fear and protect yourself as much as you can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that is going to like hinder your opportunity for a full life. So it's everyone's got to make their own choices about that.
Yeah.
So I've met women who do not go anywhere else except for work and home, and they don't do anything else. And it's like,
yeah,
I wish,
sure.
and I wish, that they, one of the things that, when I would hang out with my girlfriends is ask them, have you tried anything new lately? Be having the courage to try things, new things, pickleball, pool, golf. Like, I remember, I didn't know how to golf, and I went, and I actually had a really good time, and I ended up really liking it. If it wasn't for that first date of me golfing, I wouldn't have, really picked it up. So it really does take, having the courage to really try something new and get out of your comfort zone, and being okay with not being good at something in front of somebody. It's definitely, I feel like it's pretty humbling too. So.
Yeah, there's a number of lessons that we've discussed just now that might apply to everyone or just some people, but I think there's a lot of value there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jared.
You guys too, you guys like.
I'm the off-camera talent right now. I'm the voice behind the screen.
Why is there a gap right there?
Because
It's getting me.
we wanted to put you under pressure here, put you under the heat lamps and interrogate you.